and CLAT examinations. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. And about me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thumala, and my credentials are: I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will certainly help you, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And by emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, we will identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions which will be very useful for the preliminary examination. And by imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your mains answer, your answers would be precise and concise, and you would score higher marks in the mains examinations. So therefore, this session, that is AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, will certainly help you to score higher marks in the mains 2020, as well as you can crack prelims 2021 and also mains 2021. So therefore, do follow the entire session of the daily news analysis and be benefited by the AKS IAS Academy. And this session is in regards to the DNA, that is daily news analysis. And this daily news analysis is of today's, that is 7th of November 2020. And before we get into the DNA, let's look at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day is: climbing to the top demands strength. Whatever it is, whether you are climbing the top of the Mount Everest or it is top of your career. So what is important is, what is being demanding is the strength. It demands the strength. So if you wanted to reach the top of your career or goal, strength is very much required. Always have strength. Be positive. Do not lose your hopes. And before I get into the topic, I would say a very good morning to one and all who are in the live and also in the live chat. Good morning to all. And good morning to Gauri Naidu, D. Suvarna, Malvika Sajivan, Shubhash, Parvati, Guru Pavan, Ishwari. All of you are warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And now we'll get into the DNA of the Hindu newspaper. Here we have seen yesterday there was a webinar organized at the National Defence College, and at the National Defence College an address was being by the Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh. Yesterday we have looked at the news. So we have looked at the statement or the speech given by the Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh at the National Defence College. So today you have a news wherein again there is a news which talks about what was being addressed at the National Defence College by the Chief of Defence Staff, that is Bipin Rawat. He said that India and China will be taking up the 8th round of Corps Commander level talks, which will be taken up at Chuzul sector, which is at the Indian side, which is along the LAC between India and China. And this is the levels of talks which India is trying to make it very clear that, as we discussed yesterday, the Defence Minister makes it very clear that India is a peace-loving country, but when it is a situation which demands, wherein we need to think about the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country, so definitely we are ready to protect our country. And the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also made it very clear that it is very important to resolve the issue between India and China in regards to the border affairs, and that would be taken up only through dialogue. The issues or the differences between both the countries or India with the neighboring countries in regards to the border issues or any other issues can be resolved only through a process of dialogue, and thereby now we have this 8th round of Corps Commander level talks, which will be taken up at Chuzul sector, which is in the Indian territory along the line of control between India and China in the eastern Ladakh, and definitely the Chief of Defence Staff Bipin Rawat is making it very clear that we cannot go ahead with any kind of shifting of the line of control between India and China, because there are unprovoked tactical military action which is spiraling into a larger conflict. So the kind of military action taken up by the People's Liberation Army, that is Chinese army, is getting into the mode of swinging into a larger conflict which cannot be discounted. That means the sovereignty and the integral territory of India cannot be discounted, is the statement made by the Chief of Defence Staff, that is General Bipin Rawat, which he has delivered a speech at the National Defence College. And he made it very clear that India has in the past faced myriad of external security challenges. That means India has faced various security challenges in the past. That is, myriad means countless or unlimited external security challenges, and India is ready to go ahead with resolving the differences between India and China at this juncture along the LAC, but that will not kind of discount the sovereignty and the integral territory or territorial integrity of India. And before I get into the next topic or next slide, I would say very good morning to Gafur, Rambabu and Vinay Kumar, Santosh, Sai Pavan, Madhu. A warm welcome to you all to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And definitely now Bipin Rawat, Chief of Defence Staff, is making it very clear that there is constant friction. That means continuous kind of face-off or standoff between India and China, and both the countries, they are two nuclear armed countries, and definitely India has fought with both the countries, that is Pakistan and China. India has had an experience with having a war with both the neighboring countries, that is Pakistan and China also. So definitely this kind of friction, constant friction between India and China will create a kind of danger. It is a message which is sending that there would be a danger of regional strategic instability. This is the key word, that there is a possibility of danger to the region itself, that is Asia itself, regional strategic instability, and there would be a process or there would be a kind of scenario wherein it would be threatening our national integrity and strategic cohesion. That is why it is very clear that both the countries are looking at the 8th round of Corps Commander level talks at Chuzul, and the Ministry of External Affairs, Anurag Srivastav, spokesperson of Ministry of External Affairs, has made it very clear that two sides, that is India and China, are jointly getting into the mode of commander level talks, that is maintaining a dialogue process between both the countries, so that both the countries would jointly safeguard peace and tranquility along the borders between India and China. And definitely in the midst of this, Anurag Srivastava, that is Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, has made it very clear that India will continue to maintain dialogue with China. That is very important, because even at the time of the war, or when there is a friction between any two countries, or India with neighboring country or any country, what is very important is dialogue is very important, to make sure that dialogue is definitely alive. It should be alive during the friendship or when you are at the war-like situation. So dialogue is very important, and India says that we will continue to maintain the dialogue with China, so that both the countries will come up with a mutually accepted solution. When the dialogue takes place, there would be a solution. But what India is making it very clear is the dialogue what we would continue, we would expect a mutually accepted solution. This is very important what India is talking about. Mutually accepted solution, not that it should be unilateral or any kind of aggression. We do not accept any kind of unilateral or an aggression mode from China, but we maintain a dialogue to continue, and that we are expecting mutually accepted solution for the current situation which is prevailing between India and China along the LAC in the eastern Ladakh. And now I will focus this through the map. We will look at that the 8th round of Corps Commander level talks, which has actually started in the month of August or prior to that June, July, wherein now it will take place at this point, that is Chuzul. So you have the LAC, all this is the LAC between India and China. This is LAC in the eastern Ladakh, and the talks will take place at Chuzul. And we also had couple of commander level talks which has taken place at Moldo. So what is important here is from geography map based questions for the UPSC prelims perspective and better and conceptual understanding, the Chuzul sector which is on the Indian side and the Moldo sector which is part of the China, that is the China's territory which China is claiming. Please do understand, which China is claiming that it is part of Aksai Chin. It is part of Aksai Chin. So Moldo is part of Aksai Chin, which China is claiming, that is China occupied Kashmir. China occupied Kashmir is the Aksai Chin or eastern Ladakh, wherein you have the Moldo and you have this Pyongyang Lake. We have seen many a times, almost 2 months back we were talking about the finger points at the Pyongyang Lake. So you have this Pyongyang Lake which is very important, wherein Chinese troops are getting into even the second finger, right from 8th to 1, that is almost to 4th finger point. China is trying to have its patrolling from 8th to 4th point. And then recently also we have seen that they have entered into the Spangor Gap. This is a Spangor Gap or this is the Spangor Lake. So they have entered into the Spangor Lake, and further towards the west of Spangor Lake they have entered into Rezangla Pass. This point, the recent one which we had, that India was experiencing the Chinese troops or Chinese soldiers entering into the Indian territory, is Rezangla Pass. So this is the latest information what I am trying to provide you, that by getting this point, that is trying to identify the Chuzul sector, Moldo sector, and then the Pyongyang Lake, and then Spangor Lake, and then this Rezangla Pass which is, or Rekinla, which Chinese troops have entered into the Indian territories. And then later on both the countries have discussed that the troops would have, Chinese troops or Indian troops would go back to their own territory, that is maintaining the status quo, which India says that it would be maintaining March of 2020. And before I get into the next topic, I would say a very good morning to even G. Srinu, G. Vinod and Mohammad Razak. A warm welcome to you all to AKS IAS Academy. And now we look at another news which is in regards to the goods and services tax. So the finance panel, that is 15th Finance Commission has come up with a report. And in the report of the 15th Finance Commission, it's very clear that there is a huge gap between the GST cess collection and the revenue shortfall. That means the collection and the revenue what is now to be given back to the states by the center, it is now the gap is increasing. So what is important is the report of the 15th Finance Commission, which is projecting a huge gap between the GST collection, that is revenue collection, and the revenue which the center has to repay back to the states. And now this is snowballing, that means it is increasing between 5 lakh crore to 7 lakh crore by June 2022. But now at this moment, the gap is, the revenue gap collection of the GST is 2.35 lakh crores now. But if the same kind of revenue collection is not crossing the 1 lakh crore per month of the GST collection, then this gap what we have right now is 2.35 lakh crore, which is the center is unable to repay to the states, as it was discussed as per the GST regime, wherein GST has been implemented in the year June 2017. For the first 5 years, the center has accepted the states will get the revenue loss by implementing the GST. But right now you have the gap of 2.35 lakh crores, and this might increase to 5 lakhs to 7 lakh crore by June 2022, and this is part of the report which has been projected by the 15th Finance Commission. So the report is on the 15th Finance Commission on the GST dues, and the report which has been projected or which has been taken up by the 15th Finance Commission will be submitted to the President, that is Ramnath Kovind, on November 9, 2020. And this panel has delivered, or it has come up with an unusual terms of reference, wherein it is including a question of creating a separate mechanism. So here the panel is also talking about, or it is questioning, a separate mechanism which has been taken up by the center, a separate mechanism which has been initiated by the center. For what? For funding defense and internal security. Please do understand here, from GST, from economy, we are again shifting towards the national security or internal security. Please do understand, from economy to national security or internal security, focusing on defense and internal security. So to make sure that we are strengthening our defense, we are going ahead with purchasing various arms and ammunition to fight or to get ready for any kind of scenario which the China is posing a threat to India in the eastern Ladakh or in Arunachal Pradesh or in the middle sector of Sikkim. So India is going ahead with a separate mechanism. This is a key word. The the central government is now creating a separate mechanism for funding defense and internal security, which is been proposed by the center. So the keyword here is the 15th Finance Commission report and separate mechanism for funding defense and internal security. Azmat Khan has joined. A warm welcome to you, Azmat Khan. And as per the resolution and modalities which was accepted by the center to make the payment of the GST compensation dues to the states, we know that this will definitely impact, this will have a significant impact on the fiscal consolidation. That means how we can go ahead with the fiscal deficit or fiscal consolidation roadmap for India general government debt. That means how much India will go ahead with expenditure. Fiscal is expenditure. That roadmap, what India general government debt, that is expenditure, will definitely have a significant impact because of the non-payments of GST compensation to the states, and that will definitely have a larger impact on the fiscal consolidation map. This is a keyword. Fiscal consolidation map is the keyword. And why this fiscal consolidation map? for India's general government debt, that is expenditure. And the center has promised, we know that, as I said, as GST was implemented or launched in the year 2017 in the month of July, the center has said for the first 5 years, the center will pay back the revenue loss to the GST as pay back the GST revenue gap to the states as per the GST regime. That means the center has promised the compensation for the revenue loss to the states. And what is important is GST has been launched in the year July 2017. And this compensation cess, we have seen this last week that the 15th Finance Commission has also made it very clear that the compensation cess which will be ended in the year 2021 and 22, probably this compensation cess might be extended to 2025 to 2026. That means the cess is not the tax, but the cess is an extra amount which is levied on the sin goods and the luxury or demerit goods, so that the center will be in a position to at least pull in some revenue by the compensation cess, which is supposed to be winded up by 2021 but might be extended by to 2025 to 2026 on the goods called as sin goods and demerit or luxury goods, which is about 28%, which the tax GST is imposed, the 4th level. And Shalini has also joined. A warm welcome to you, Shalini, to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And now we will look at another news wherein there is a relief for Arnold Goswami, that is the editor of Republic TV. The Supreme Court has given a relief. How there is a relief? Because the Supreme Court has taken this case as a suo motu cognizance. What is suo motu? That is self. Supreme Court has taken this as self, and then it has issued a contempt notice to whom? Not to Arnold Goswami. It has issued a contempt notice to whom? Against the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly Secretary. Why? Because the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly Secretary has browbeating. Browbeating means intimidating or forcing the Republic TV editor-in-chief, that is Arnold Goswami, from approaching the court in connection with the breach of privilege motion. So what is the keyword here is privilege motion, which is again very important keyword from polity, UPSC, prelims as well as mains perspective. So here what is the point, what you need to understand is Maharashtra Legislative Assembly Secretary as intimidated as per Supreme Court. It says that the Secretary of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly has intimidated or threatened or forced the Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnold Goswami from approaching the court in connection with the alleged breach of privilege motion. That means Arnold, what the point here, the petition is that Arnold Goswami, the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, or the one who is in the government, they say that they have raised the concern, or Arnold Goswami has spoken ill about the Maharashtra Chief Minister and the NCP Chief Sharad Pawar. So definitely, as they are the MLAs, so it is that any point which is raised against the MLAs, and when you are again taken into custody, so when you want to approach the Supreme Court, then the Speaker of the House should give the permission in regards to the privilege motion. So here the Secretary of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly has forced or intimidated Goswami or Arnold Goswami not to approach the Supreme Court, which it is in regards to the privilege motion which was initiated against him. And the court has ordered that to the Maharashtra that they will not arrest They will not arrest Arnold Goswami in the privilege case. Please do understand. It is not that the Supreme Court is saying that we will not at all arrest Arnold Goswami, that is Republic TV editor. Supreme Court says that we will not arrest Arnold Goswami in the privilege case. Please do understand. That is why I am saying privilege motion or privilege case is the keyword here for the UPSC prelims perspective. And this bench, which has been led by the Chief Justice of India, Sharath A. Bobde, has asked the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly Secretary to come up or to show cause. That means show a cause, show a reason why Arnold Goswami should why he here in the sense, why the Secretary of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly should not be punished for contempt for threatening Mr. Goswami with a penalty because he is approaching the top court. Please do understand here there are 2 points wherein Arnold Goswami has been arrested and then he has been remanded to court, and then when he has approached the Supreme Court for the bail, then Maharashtra Legislative Secretary has intimidated Arnold Goswami from approaching the court in regards to breach of privilege motion. But in turn, look at it, Supreme Court has issued a contempt notice to the Secretary of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, and it is asking the Secretary of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, you please provide a cause, that is show cause, show a reason why Supreme Court should not punish you by or in regards to contempt of court, that is in threatening Mr. Goswami not to approach the court. And this Chief Justice of India has said that it is the right of every citizen to approach or to move to the Supreme Court to protect his or her fundamental rights. So here keyword is fundamental right of each and every citizen that they can approach the Supreme Court to protect the fundamental rights. So nobody can stop it, and if anybody is stopping or forcing or intimidating, then the Supreme Court now it has taken the case as a suo motu cognizance and then it has issued a contempt notice. So here the keywords are suo motu cognizance, contempt notice, privilege motion and the fundamental rights. These are the 4 keywords which you need to focus in regards to the Supreme Court issuing a contempt notice to the Secretary of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. And there is another news which talks about AWS as invested, or it is an investment which is the largest FDI for Telangana state. So it is not only a regional news, but it is also a business news, national business news. So what is AWS? That is Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is what? It is a leading cloud computing platform. It is a leading cloud platform, and this AWS has set up an AWS region in Hyderabad, that is in 3 availability zones, that is 3 AZs. Extremely sorry, with an estimated capital of 2.77 billion US dollars. So as it is a huge capital investment by Amazon Web Services, so it is the largest foreign direct investment made by the Amazon Web Services, which is a leading cloud platform in Telangana. So this is again very important from economy point of view. Again focusing on IT. It is not only economy but focusing on IT also. And this was released by IT and Industries Department that the AWS, that is Amazon and Web Services of Asia Pacific Hyderabad region, is expected to start its operation in Hyderabad by mid of 2022. So for another 1.5 years or so, the Amazon Web Services will start its operation, that is Asia Pacific region operations, in the month or in the year mid of 2022. And AZ, that is availability zones, which how many? There are 3 availability zones which have been identified in Hyderabad, wherein Amazon Web Services would be having its operationals in Hyderabad, and this AZs will consist of multiple data centers. So what is the keyword? Is data centers. Data centers is the keyword here. So the availability zones, which will be 3, will have a multiple data centers which will be separated in various locations but within a single region. Please do understand, it will be in a distinct location, various locations, but in a single location or single region. And what is that region? That is Asia Pacific region. And this will get into the operationally, which will be independent, in regards to the power, in regards to the cooling, physical security and connections with low latency networks. So all the 3 multiple data centers, that is availability zones, which will be set up in Hyderabad, will be operational or will be operating independent, in regards to its independent power and cooling and physical security and connections via various latency network. So here the keyword is which will be operational independent, and availability zones AZs. 3 AZs would be set up operational in the Hyderabad, which is AWS region, that is Asia Pacific region. And this Asia Pacific region, Hyderabad, will definitely, by setting up, it will enable more of developers, startups and enterprises, as well as the government will get into the mode of getting the advantage of it. That is where education will be benefited, non-profit or NPO, non-profit organizations will get into the mode of running their applications and serve to their end users from the data centers, because we have looked at there would be multiple data centers. AZs will have multiple data centers, and these data centers will provide their information to their applications, and it will provide to the end users of all this, that means developers or startups or enterprises, even to the government, education and non-profit organizations, so that their applications will be serving the end users or to the clients or to the customers from the data centers which are located in India. Please do understand, which are located in India. So the data centers which would possess the data, that data will be used by the developers, by the startups, by the enterprises, by the government in regards to various education and non-profit organizations, so that that data can be used to their end users or to the customers. So that is the importance of the setting up of multiple data centers in India, which is part of the availability zones. That is 3 availability zones in Hyderabad. And these data centers in a particular region, that is Asia Pacific region, will increase operations in e-commerce, in public sector, banking and financial services, IT and many more. That means these data centers will help in operations of various sectors like e-commerce, public sector, banking and financial services, that is BFSI, and IT and various others. So definitely the Amazon Web Services, which is part of Amazon.com, will definitely now come up with a new region that is already existing. So already existing are 9 existing regions and 26 availability zones in Asia, that is which are 26 availability zones in Asia is in India, Australia, Greater China, Japan, Korea and Singapore. So Amazon Web Services are present in 26 availability zones with multiple data centers in India, Australia, Greater China, Japan and Korea along with Singapore. And now they have 9 AWS regions, that is the one which will be adding is now will become 10, and globally they have 77 availability zones and 24 AWS regions, 24 AWS infrastructure regions, and they wish to plan for another 15 AZs, that is availability zones, and 5 more AWS regions in India, Indonesia, Japan, Spain and Switzerland. So along with the existing one, still Amazon Web Services, which is Amazon.com firm, would wish to increase its AWS regions in India, Indonesia, Japan, Spain and Switzerland. Ram Kumar has joined. Warm welcome to you, Ram Kumar. Good morning. And there is another news which talks about WhatsApp introduces payment services in India. So now the WhatsApp, this application of Facebook, now introduces the payment services. So what are the, we know that there are various other payment services which are existing. We will look at it, and this WhatsApp now has unveiled the payment services in India. And who has given the approval? The approval is given by the National Payment Corporation of India, and this is the keyword here. What is the keyword here is National Payments Corporation of India, because this is very useful for UPSC prelims and mains perspective, because we have seen a question or questions in regards to the NPCI in the prelims of UPSC previous year's question papers about NPCI, that is National Payments Corporation of India. This is a crucial junction because it is the NPCI which regulates the payments which takes place between an customer and an organization, or now in regards to the firm WhatsApp also. And the NPCI has not given the total access to the WhatsApp, but you have a mandated expansion which has been authorized by the NPCI, that is National Payments Corporation of India, to the WhatsApp UPI. So what is UPI? It is Unified Payments Interface. It is Unified Payments Interface, which was been granted, but it is a mandated expansion, but that is gradual expansion is been provided to the WhatsApp, but immediate overall access has been not granted to the WhatsApp by the NPCI in regards to the payment services of India through the WhatsApp, and that will be in a graded manner, and the maximum registered user base will be now 20 million for WhatsApp in regards to the payment services, which it has now unveiled in India, and the NPCI's approval to the WhatsApp that it will have a cap. That means it will have a restriction of only 30% of the total volume of transactions which will be processed by the UPI in India, that is through the Unified Payment Interface. WhatsApp will have only 30%, its volume of WhatsApp in regards to the payment services in India will be only, or it will be logged to 30% of the transactions which are processed through the Unified Payment Interface, and that will be applicable to all the third party providers effectively from January 1st 2021. And then Chendu has also joined. Warm welcome to you, Chendu. And this is very important. What is crucial here that you need to focus here is the keyword. Please do understand, that is NPCI, that is National Payments Corporation of India, and then WhatsApp. And this WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, again conceptual understanding. So WhatsApp, the owner is Facebook, has gone ahead with testing the UPI based payment system right from 2018. Please do understand, but the approval has been given by NPCI only now, and it will now get into the mode of being part of the payment system in India along with its competitive players. That is already existing payment system in India is Paytm, Google Pay, Amazon Pay and Phone Pay. These are the private one. Fine. And now added to this is the fifth one. This is WhatsApp now. So already existing is Paytm, Google Pay, Amazon Pay and then Phone Pay. Fifth one is the WhatsApp. And the Facebook CEO is Mark Zuckerberg, who has said that now people can go ahead with sending money to any of your friends or family through the WhatsApp, just like as easy as you send a message in the WhatsApp. And he makes it very clear, that is the CEO Mark Zuckerberg has made, that there is no fee and it is supported by almost 150 banks. So you can transfer money from various or 140 banks, 140 banks. You can send money to your friends or family is the one which has been mentioned by the Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Now we will look at an additional information, because I was saying NPCI is the keyword here, and which was, we have seen the questions in the prelims of UPSC in regards to NPCI. So we will focus at a better information we'll try to get in for you all, so that you will be having a more information for the UPSC prelims. And this NPCI is an umbrella organization, and which is in the mode of operating the retail payments and settlement system. So NPCI is basically in regards to operating retail payments and any kind of settlement systems in India. And this was initiated by RBI and IBA. That means NPCI has been initiated by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, and Indian Banks Association under the provision of Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. So this is a crucial information under which act NPCI, that is what I was talking about. It is very important in regards to the prelims perspective. So there could be a question which will be framed not in regards to which are the WhatsApp or Google Pay, Paytm or Amazon. They may or may not ask, but what could be a probable and a perspective question in regards to the NPCI in prelims is about NPCI. So it is been initiated by RBI and IBA, that is Indian Banks Association. Under what provision? Under the provision of Payment and Settlement System Act 2017, and it has been initiated to create a robust payment and settlement infrastructure in India. So all these are very, very crucial information. If there is any question in the mains in regards to the payment system in India, if there is a question in the mains in regards to the payment systems in India, so you can have a short notes taking the NPCI, and this you can add it directly. So it has been created for what? For robust payment settlement and infrastructure in India, and it has been incorporated as a not-for-profit company under section 25 of Companies Act 1956. So when it was started in the year 2007, when it was started in the year or initiated in the year 2007 as per the Payment and Settlement System Act 2007, it was incorporated as a not-for-profit. That means it is a non-profit organization or a company under the provision of section 25 of Companies Act 1956. But now this not-for-profit is now under section 8 of Companies Act 2013. So 1956 is been amended to Companies Act 2013. This is again very, very important conceptual understanding that not-for-profit or non-profit company was under section 25 of the Companies Act 1956, but the same now it is under section 8 of Companies Act 2013. And the main intention of NPCI is to provide infrastructure to the entire banking system in India, and also for physical as well as electronic payments. To to provide infrastructure for physical and electronic payment system and for all the payment settlement system in regards to the various banks or into the entire banking system itself. And the company, that is NPCI, is focused, it provides incorporated and it focused on bringing innovations. So main intention is to bring innovation in the retail payment system, and we are experiencing, India is experiencing an innovation in the retail payment system through the usage of technology, and by making sure that there is greater efficiency in operation and the reach should be widened in regards to the payment system. So basically it is in regards to the innovation of retail payment system through use of technology. For what? For achieving greater efficiency in operations and to have a wider reach in regards to the payment system. And there are 10 core promoter banks for in the NPCI, that is State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Canara Bank, and then Bank of Baroda, Union Bank of India, Bank of India, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Citibank, and then HSBC Bank. So these are the 10 core promoter part of the NPCI, that is National Payments Corporation of India. So please do get into the mode of the keyword which I am focusing, which I have given an additional information which is not part of the newspaper, but there is only mention that the WhatsApp will get into the payment service in India, which is been approved by NPCI. So I have given an explanation or further additional information of NPCI. Please do focus the additional information of NPCI, which will be a prospective question in the prelims point of view. And D Ramesh, a warm welcome to you. Chandu, also warm welcome to you to AKS IAS Academy. And now we will recapitulate the DNA of today's, that is 7th November. And we have looked at this, what this CDS was talking about, that we will not go ahead with, or we will not accept any kind of change in the line of actual control between India and China. And there would be a 8th Corps Commander level talks at Chuzul. And then we have seen the 15th Finance Commission, which has come up with the report which talks about the raising of the GST dues would raise for the states from 2.35 to almost 5 to 7 lakh crore rupees. And this is in regards to the privilege case I said, which is very important from polity point of view, wherein the Supreme Court has taken an suo motu cognizance in regards to the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly Secretary intimidating or forcing Arnold Goswami not to approach the Supreme Court. And then Amazon Web Services, again in regards to the economy, which is the largest FDI in Telangana, and then we are focused at availability zones, and then in regards to the data also, multiple data centers. This is very crucial. And WhatsApp, this is again WhatsApp has come into the payment services in India. So we are focused here, what is the keyword is NPCI. Again, this is part of economy, which is very useful, very important for UPSC perspective. So I would say, and I would hope that this session was an helpful one, informative one, and a knowledgeable one for you all to have a better understanding in regards to the prelims as well as mains examination of UPSC. So I would say a very big thank you to all and a good luck to you all. And then I reiterate, do have consistency in your preparation, do stick to your schedule of preparation, do take care of your physical health and mental health. And I would say, do like the video, share the video and subscribe, that is English medium of AKS IAS UPSC Civil Services examination. For the daily news analysis, visit the AKS IAS Academy website, subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is Advanced Knowledge System, and then see you again on Monday at 7:30 a.m. for the daily news analysis. And I would say a very big thank you to all. Thank you all, and then do not waste time even on Sundays. Make sure that you use Sundays judiciously, and then get ready for your mains if anyone is writing mains 2020, or else who are preparing for prelims 2021. Thank you very much, and then see you on Monday for the daily news analysis at 7:30 a.m.